Good morning, Super Readers! Thank you for joining us in our Valley PBS classroom. I'm Mrs. Nix.
I'm Mrs. Hammock.
And I'm Mrs. Vang.
This is a place for us to learn, practice, and grow our brains to become even stronger readers, writers, and thinkers. So let's get started by warming up our brains with some
ear training
called Daily Phonemic Awareness. All right, readers, today we're going to do a little bit of segmentation. So I'm going to give us a word, and we're going to just break apart and stretch it out until we can hear all of the different phonemes or the sounds in a word. Okay, you ready? So get out this big giant rubber band.
And I think I'm gonna do it with my fingers. I'm gonna count them.
Love it. Here we go. The word is school. School. How many sounds do we hear in school? Sk. Ooh. Sk. Ooh.
I got 4.
Did you all hear 4? Mm-hmm. Great. Let's try another word. How about the word broom? Broom. Okay. How many sounds do we hear in broom? So let's really stretch that out. Brr. Ooh. Ooh, don't let that beginning one. Kind of tricky. Brr. Ooh.
That's true, because that blend, we want to stick it together really quickly. Brr, but it's actually 2 sounds. Brr. Oom. So there's 4 in that one. Again,
got it. 4 again. Okay, how about this one? Flu. Flu. How many sounds? Stretch it out. Ooh. 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 How many sounds?
I say 3.
3?
I said 3 too.
Did you get 3? Great job. Again, this is another thing that you can practice pretty much anywhere, right?
Absolutely.
Just stretching out and listening for all of the sounds in a word.
That's right.
Speaking of sounds, you know what time it is?
I think it's time for some Freddie the Fox.
Are we ready?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, here we go.
Make sure you've got some space.
That box was heavy.
It was, and then I turned around and you guys did it.
It's all good.
But that really woke my brain up, so I think we're ready.
I think so.
I think so too.
Okay, I'll see you guys later.
Okay.
Okay, Super Readers, let's go into our phonics. What sound are we learning this week? Did you see it? We're learning the spoon card. Now the spoon card says, ooh. Ooh. Now to help you, I want you to pretend you're holding a spoon and you're about to eat your soup and you're saying, ooh. Did you guys do it? Awesome job. Now, the tricky part with the spoon card is look at all the different ways that we can spell that spoon card. We can spell it with the O-O, with the U, consonant silent E, with the U by itself, with the E-W, with the U-E, the O-U, and the U-I. Lots of different ways that we can spell that ooh sound. So let's practice blending some words with these spelling patterns. And let's have our friends come and help us. Are you guys ready? Help me say them. Say, friends. Good morning, Super Readers. I'm so glad you guys are here. We have our spoon card this week. And remember that spoon card says the ooh sound. But remember, it's super tricky only because it has so many different spelling patterns. So can you guys help me blend some words with that ooh sound with our spelling patterns?
Okay.
Yeah, let's try
Okay,
it.
are you guys ready? Okay, that O-O we know says
Ooh.
So let's practice blending this word. Ready?
Oot. Root.
Good job. Root.
Like a tree has a root.
That's right. Great sentence, Tina. Okay, let's continue because here's another spelling that U consonant silent E. When we see it, it can also say ooh. Are you guys ready? Okay, this says
Oon. Tune. Oh, I almost said a sound for the E, but then I remembered it's silent.
silent E. Good thinking. Okay, and that U-E can also say ooh. Are you guys ready? Let's blend this word.
Ooh.
Do.
Do.
Oh, are your library books due?
That's a good one.
Oh, that is a good one. That's a great question you asked also with the word do in it. Awesome. Okay, now here's a E-W, and E-W also says
Ooh.
Are you guys ready? Okay, let's blend this word.
Ooh. Drew. I drew a picture of my friend Tina.
Oh, thanks.
Good sentence. Drew. Awesome. Okay, let's keep going. Ready? Oh, you can also say ooh. Let's blend this word.
Oop.
Soup.
Soup. Good reading. Okay, and the U-I can say ooh. Let's blend this word.
Oot. Fruit. Ooh, I like to eat fruit.
Good job.
Me
Now,
too.
if you look on the sound spelling card, you see that there's a line in front of the U and the line in back of that U. You know what that
does
means?
that mean?
That means that UI is usually in the middle of a word.
Oh, that makes sense.
So when you're writing and you hear that ooh sound, it could be any of these, but a lot of the times when you hear that ooh in the middle, it could be a UI. But remember, a lot of these, like the O can be in the middle, the OU can be in the middle. So it doesn't really help us, but this at least, I know when I see the UI, I'm gonna make that ooh sound because it's in the middle of my word.
And it tells us at least that it's not going to be at the end of the word all by itself. There has to be something after it.
That's right. So when you're writing, don't put, and you hear that ooh sound at the end, we know it's not that UI spelling pattern. Does that help us?
Yeah, that's a
It does, huh?
That's a good clue.
Now, how about let's build a word. You guys ready?
Okay.
Okay. I want us to build
I
a
don't
word.
know. This is hard. There's so
I
many.
know. Let's see. So many different spelling patterns. But let's see. Can you guys help me build a word? Moon. 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 The moon.
I think I
was
know this
bright.
one because this is a word I know.
So.
M.
Yep.
Good. You guys got that. And then that.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That is the O.
Good.
Because I read a book about a cow and it said moo. And I think it's the same, only we have to add another sound at the end.
You're right. Moon.
And an N.
Yep.
And an N. Good job. Moon. Now, I'm going to see if you guys can quickly substitute it because I want the word mood.
Oh.
How do I change it from moon to mood?
Well, you just take off the N and put a D.
You're right.
That's it.
That's it. Here's the word.
So if you can spell moon, you can spell mood.
Now, how about food?
Oh. Well, then you're just
food.
going to substitute the beginning sound. And
That's
put
right.
Put a F.
That's right. There you go.
Oh, look at that. There's
and
another
now I
word.
have the word
Food.
My favorite.
Did you guys see how you did that? So if you know one spelling pattern, a lot of the times you can spell lots of different words.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
Isn't that a cool trick? Okay, I'm gonna have my super readers read the sentence with us, and I'll see you guys later.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay, super readers, you guys ready? Let's get ready to read this sentence with our words with that ooh sound. And to help us, I put our words with the ooh sound in red. So get ready to make that ooh sound. Ready? The new food is a root we grew. How did you do? Awesome job. I knew you guys were doing a great job. Now, let's see what new high frequency word we're going to be learning with Mrs. Hammock.
All right, I'm ready for you. Let's review all 6, and then we'll focus on one for today. All right, are you ready? Okay, we have door, answer, eyes, enough, brought, and busy. Okay, let's read our sentence and see if you can figure out. I did give you an extra clue, but let's just see if you can figure out which word from our high frequency word list it might be today. Dad said, please, me, now. Do you remember those talking marks? Right, those are quotations, so when someone's talking. So who's talking in this sentence? Right, this is what Dad said. Dad said, please. Did you hear a word that might work? Enough? Busy? Please, brought? Oh, you're right. It's answer, and I put it on a blue card. That was kind of an extra clue, wasn't it? Dad said, please answer me now. Good job. So here is our word for today, answer. And let's spell it together. A-N-S-W-E-R. Answer. This is a tricky one. Do you hear the W sound? Answer. I don't hear it either. So this is one you need to know what it looks like and get it locked in to your brain so that when you see it, you know it as fast as you know your name. And to practice this word today, we're going to use one of my favorite things to do. We're going to do some rainbow writing. Do you remember how this goes? We're going to use the colors of the rainbow to write our word many times. We're going to start with red for the first color, and we're going to spell it out loud while we're writing because we want to see it with our eye, we want to say it, and then that helps us to hear it. And that just helps us to have more ways of memorizing that particular word because we want to be able to read it and write it. So here we go. A-N-S-W-E-R. That was red. Then next comes orange, and so I'm going to write it and say it again. A-N-S-W-E-R. And now I've written it twice and I've spelled it out loud twice. And I just am going to keep on going with all of the colors of the rainbow, except for yellow. Remember on television, yellow is not very friendly. So I would go next to our green and then blue and to purple. And that's something you can practice with any word that you are trying to remember how to read it and write it. I think you'll enjoy that. It's super fun. You might even do it with some sidewalk chalk out on the sidewalk. That would be fun too. Today, we're going to listen to a story called Super Tools. And we're going to think about the theme of the story. That's really tricky, but a theme is kind of what is the big idea of the story? So I want you to think as you listen to this story and see if you can figure out what the big idea or message of the story is. And then Mrs. Nix will talk to you about it after this.
Super Tools. A few weeks ago, Lucy's mom and dad brought a new computer home. "This is so cool," exclaimed Lucy. Lucy used the computer all the time. But not everyone was happy about the new computer. Lucy didn't know it, but her writing tools felt sad and useless. One day, while she was at school, they had an emergency meeting. "Lucy hasn't used us in weeks," cried the markers. "Can we demand to be used?" asked the crayons. "No, that would be rude. But we can remind her how great we are," said the pencils. "Yes," they all agreed. "Let's remind her." After school, As soon as Lucy came through the door, she grabbed a glass of juice and went right to her computer. She had to write a report about birds. The writing tools watched and waited. When Lucy was done, she printed her report. That night, the writing tools got busy. They worked together to make a picture for Lucy. The pencils made a sketch. The markers drew the birds in the tree. The crayons drew the sun in a blue sky. The picture was good enough to frame. The next day was Saturday. Lucy woke up late. Then she went to get her report. Lucy gasped. She couldn't believe her eyes. "Who drew this great picture?" she asked. "Did you draw this?" Lucy asked Mom and Dad. "You know the answer to that," they laughed. "Stop joking. You drew that great picture." That made Lucy think she wished she had drawn it. "It is fun to draw," she said. Lucy hung the picture in her room. Then she took out her pencils, crayons, and markers. "I'll draw my own picture for my report," she said. Lucy and her pencils, crayons, and markers worked together. They drew a super picture. From that day on, Lucy kept drawing, and the writing tools felt happy and useful.
Wasn't that a great story? I loved learning all about Lucy and her writing tools and all the things that they were doing. Okay, so just like Mrs. Hammock said just a moment ago, she said, today we're going to talk about theme. Now theme, it's the big idea or the message in a story. To help us kind of figure out what is the message of super tools, I have a big page right here that I've made nice and big for us to look at. And I know that our theme is found on this page and it's got a lot of clues. Now, I might need to go back and do a little bit of rereading. And so I'm thinking that we could help Rita come back and help us find some clues. Should we do that? All right, so, hey Rita, do you want to come and help?
I love that.
I
love to read.
Excellent, great job.
That's why my name is Rita.
That's right. I can hear the read in Rita.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I'm thinking about the theme and I'm looking at our picture here with all of our super tools and things that they're doing, but maybe we could reread this section just so our super readers know what's here, and then you and I can go through and we can look for maybe some clues that help us to figure out what the big idea or the message that the author's trying to tell us.
I love that idea. That sounds fun.
Okay, let's have you go back. Would you reread this for us?
Sure.
I'll point.
That night, the writing tools got busy. They worked together to make a picture for Lucy. The pencils made a sketch. The markers drew the birds in the tree. The crayons drew the sun in a blue sky. The picture was good enough to frame.
Okay, so what were some things that these super tools were doing on this page? Do you remember? Like, what was the pencil? What did the pencil do?
Oh yeah, the pencil made a sketch. That's kind of like when you first start a picture and you don't want to do it real dark. You just want to try it out so you could erase it if you need to.
And what did the markers do? Do you remember?
Oh, yep, they drew birds in the sky. Or no, in a tree, I'm sorry, in a tree.
Yep, they drew so pencils were doing some work and the markers were doing. How about the crayons? Were they doing some work too?
Yep, they drew the sun in the blue sky.
Okay, so how would all of these things help us figure out what the big idea or the message? Were they all doing these things by themselves?
No.
What were they doing?
They were working together like teamwork to make things better.
That's right. And when they put all of their skills, their individual skills together, it made their lives so much easier, right?
Yeah.
So it even says right here, they worked together to make a picture for Lucy. So each of them had their individual talents, but they pulled them together to make their lives even better, because that's what happens, right? And so that can be our big message, is that when we work together, that teamwork, it makes it so much easier for everybody, right?
I agree. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes, absolutely. That's it. So thank you, Rita, for helping. And you know what? I would love to have some help with some writing in just a second. Do you want to go grab your pencil and come join me?
Yes, I would love to. I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll see you in just a minute.
Bye.
Okay, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're always looking for clues about what kinds of lessons might we learn as we're reading a story, because sometimes the author will give us some clues to figure that out. Okay, let's switch gears just a little bit and talk about some writing today. Let's look at the prompt. It says, write a letter from the writing tools to Lucy, explaining in words what they explained to her in their drawing. Now that was one of the things that we just talked about, was our drawing. Now I made it kind of small, and I know that it's going to be difficult to see there, but just so you can kind of see the picture there, I also put a little bit of a clue up here, because there's some words that I think we want to be aware of when our tools are writing to Lucy. Now we know that they're going to write a letter, so it's going to start out, Dear Lucy. But maybe our friends could come and help us out just a little bit. What do you say? Should we call them? All right, friends, come on out and help us.
Hi, Mrs. Nix.
Hello, Ricky.
I'm
And
back.
hi, Rita. And did you get your pencil?
I did.
All right. Okay, so did you hear what I was explaining to our super readers? We're now pretending that we're the writing tools, and we're going to explain to Lucy kind of what we were, as tools, doing in our picture, but now we're going to use words to tell Lucy what we were doing. So what could we say maybe in the beginning? And here's kind of a clue. When the tools were talking, remember it said, Lucy hasn't used us in weeks. Can we demand to be used? And someone said, no, that would be rude, but we can remind her how great we are.
Yep.
Does anybody have a sentence that maybe we could start with to Lucy? What could we say?
Why don't we just use some of the words in that page? I loved how they said, we just, so maybe, okay, so I'm gonna start, Dear Lucy, and then maybe we start with, just wanted to remind you that writing tools are great.
I think that's a great way to start.
That is. I like that one.
Okay, so Dear Lucy, we just want to remind you that writing tools are great. And we've started with a capital, and we've got, ooh, look, we're very excited about being great. What else could we say?
But then we could tell about each of the little things. So like the pencils can make a sketch.
Oh, so we could tell Lucy some details about what makes us great, right?
Yep.
So just like a regular paragraph, we can continue and say, the pencil can make a sketch. That's right, because we read that. What else could we talk about?
I remember that the markers and the crayons can color the picture.
Absolutely, because that's what their skill and talent is, right? Love it. And what else? Is there anything else that we want to add?
Yeah, we could also help with the report.
That's right. Remember, Lucy was trying to write a report, and so maybe we want to remind Lucy, you know, hey, we're able to help with the report, right? So we can help with your report too. All right. Are we all done? Did we write our whole letter? Is it all finished?
No, we don't know who it's from.
Well, yeah, we have
Because
to
it's a
have,
letter.
yeah, we have to have a closing.
Oh, you guys are
Like
so
when you
smart.
say goodbye to someone.
Absolutely. So we could say something maybe like, sincerely, your writing tools.
Oh, I like it. Will you read it?
That's awesome. Dear Lucy, we just want to remind you that writing tools are great. The pencil can make a sketch. The markers and crayons can color a picture. We can help you with the report too. Sincerely, the writing tools. Great job.
That's a good one.
Now we're going to kick it over to one of our awesome readers who's going to share a story with you. We'll see you back here in a second.
You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. Hey, I have a question. Where are they going? What direction are they going?
Well, that's a really good question. Do you know? I don't know. How about you, Scooter? Do you know? No. How about you? Do you know where they're going? Well, if you'd like to find out which direction to go or where they're going in this story, you might want to check out Oh, the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. You can look for it at your public library or at your school library. You can even look for it on Sora. Happy reading.
Hey, I know that lady.
Yep, that was me and my pal Rita. She is a really good reader.
Oh, yes, and that's a great story, especially this time of year.
Great story. Hey, I have another joke for you.
Of course you do.
Okay. Why did the farmer bury his money?
He's trying to save
someone
it.
wasn't going to steal it?
No, it's to make the soil rich.
Oh, man, Ricky, you are way
Where
too
do
silly.
you get these jokes?
Hey, thanks for watching Valley PBS today. We look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow. Have a great afternoon.
Bye.